Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. I really appreciate you all being here. It has been a crazy morning for us over here at Papa Joe's house. We have had crazy. Well, every time this time of year, it's really rough with allergies. So getting a normal good night's sleep is not a normal thing. So yeah, fun times for sure. I tell you what. But anyways, I'm gonna say just thank you all for being here. It is Monday. It is the 21st. It is a beautiful day here. Hopefully, you guys are all having an amazing day as far as your environment is concerned. And then, yeah, it's been an interesting day. Hopefully, you all had a wonderful weekend. We did just kind of chilled out and didn't really do much. It was the first time in a long time for us to be able to actually just chill out. Anyways, I wanted to come on here today and discuss some very interesting things to me, and hopefully it is for you all as well. I have been keeping my eye on a lot of different things, and one of the things that I'm kind of paying attention to today has a lot to do with, home foreclosures and things like that. So, anyways, I am going to discuss some of that stuff today. I also got some adoption pieces for the crypto space as well that we're going to touch base for. So, anyways, I digress. If you like the channels, the channels plural, I do have a Patreon show. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen right here. Also, there's Crypto Confidential. If you are interested in learning more on the how to have a community around you to help build or what help you build your future in the crypto space, they're also set up to where they have other. How do I put it? There are a lot of other benefits to being part of that. Some of you are part of it, and it means a lot to me. And it means a lot to the other folks who are involved in that. So, yeah, if you want to help the channel out, grab that link and sign up through that. Read through what it is and all that fun stuff. It's actually a good, they're definitely worth that investment. But that Patreon shows, back to the shows here, that Patreon is so that I can have a discussion with you all in an unfiltered manner. It allows me to come on here and have a more in-depth conversation about some of the things that we talk about, things that would typically get a video banned. I actually need to probably go check the other channel to make sure that none of the other videos have been removed. If they are, y'all let me know and on the Patreon, and I will attempt to get those resolved. So that is realistically why we do that, because here we talk about all kinds of fun stuff, but over there is where we kind of get into the meat and potatoes, nuts and bolts, whatever you want to call it. So those of you who are there, means a lot to me. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. If you get to the end of this video and you like the content, smash the likes. You can do it now if you want to, but sure does. It helps other folks who are looking for this type of information to be able to find it. And I have been getting reports from other people in my other circles saying, hey, they're finding my information just by simply searching for stuff, which is really cool. So it's working, and do really appreciate it. And then the last thing I was going to say, help me grow the channel. Share it on your socials, get other people in here while we're live even, and have a conversation with people you know. It's a lot of fun. I know just about every one of you in the chat, by the way. There's our live chat. Jump in there, say hey, if nothing else, have a conversation with like-minded individuals. We always have a really good time. With that, let's go through and say good morning. What's up, Tom? How are you? Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Let's see, it is morning for you. It is afternoon for me. Lithia, good morning. How are you? It's good to see you. Gloria, welcome. Good to see you. What's going on, Kim? How are you doing? Very cool that you are here. Not imaginative, checking in. Awesome. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Got Bitcoin Management Jim. What's up? How are you? Bitcoin Brainstormer. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Appreciate you all being here. It is for sure crazy amazing. What's up, Bitcoin Bull? How are you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. Let's see who else we got here. Rick, what's up, man? How are you? It's good to see you. Crypto Disposition, good morning. Good to see you. Journeyman, how's it going? It's good to see you, man. Awesome. Well, like I said, y'all pop in, say hey, have a conversation amongst yourselves. I can't ever tell how many people are watching, or other than how many people are conversating. So if you're watching on another platform, if you want to just let me know you're there, I think popping a thumbs up on the video, or I think commenting under it. But YouTube is where there's like a chat going and stuff. So, anyways, there's some crazy stuff coming in the pipes, people. And I don't know how fast it's going to happen. I don't know how much is going to happen, but whenever it's going to happen, it's going to be really, really crazy. Realistically speaking, we are about to enter into a very wild ride, from an economic standpoint, from a housing standpoint, especially, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. But also, towards the end of this month, towards the end of next month, the overall long-term crypto charts are starting to show a very bullish pattern, where we're going to there's as I've been saying, you're starting to see a liquidity crunch where there's not very many Bitcoin on the there's not very much Bitcoin available. It is going to be a very amazing time for sure. Let's see here. I'm gonna look at the chat. Let's see. Oh, good morning, John. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And I know he will. It'll be very, very crazy getting into there, I'm sure, especially right now, but it's going to be very, very fun. I do appreciate that very much, sir. Thank you. Good morning, and thanks for being here for sure. All right. I didn't share the stupid screen beforehand, so let's make sure to see if I get the right one this time. Sometimes I grab the wrong one, and it's always fun. Like, I didn't grab that tab. All right. Hey, it worked. Sweet. Okay. So let's pop over down here so you can see a little bit better. Looking at Bitcoin today, looks like they're trying to pump it down, and it's been over the weekend. It looks like it was flirting with 40. It was up into the 42s, and it's still they're trying to bring it back down here. It looks like all of the traditional style of traders are playing with it as they typically do. And let's see, we've got the Dow. It's up as I gotta really be honest. Like how in the world do they just keep propping it up? When are they gonna pull the plug? When are they gonna pull the plug? Let's see here. US stock. Oh yeah, oil jumped significantly. Go figure, right? Oil. Yeah, no. How in the world does the oil jump and we're sitting here screaming, going, we're gonna die? No, we're not gonna die. I'm just figuratively speaking. It is a lot of pressure on the economy just having the fuel. So let's take a shift. China's Evergrande and its units suspended trading in Hong Kong. So they were going to announce something. Let's find out what that was. Because of that announcement or whatever they were doing, they stopped the trading in Hong Kong on the Hong Kong exchange. So, embattled Chinese real estate developer China Evergrande Group, along with its other units, suspended trading in Hong Kong on Monday morning, according to an exchange filings. Now, why would they do such a thing? The reason I'm talking about this real quick is because major companies like BlackRock and these other companies that do these types of investments in the real estate and stuff like that, who have come up and literally bought up entire neighborhoods just to have them built for rent. It happens around here. That's happening. You got it happening in Texas and Florida, and you got it happening all over the country. They're buying entire development projects way above asking, way above their value, just so they could rent them out. Long-term rentals. It's funny, you know how you stop that kind of stuff? Well, it's pretty simple. You just don't. You figure out who's doing the rentals for those guys, and you just say, I'm not going to go do that, just on principle kind of thing. Very, very, very crazy for sure. Shares of Evergrande Property Services Group and China Evergrande New Energy Vehicle Group were also halted without giving any reasons. The pause comes after Shenzhen-based Evergrande said in January that it aimed to present a preliminary restructuring proposal in the next 6 months. The firm has been at the center of the cash crisis among Chinese property developers following Beijing's crackdown. Now, I can tell you right now that this is going to be the Lehman Brothers for China, except this isn't something that they can really. This is much bigger than Lehman, like a lot bigger than Lehman. Now, when we get into this stuff, when this starts really crumbling, it's going to cause a rippling effect, almost like a tsunami or tidal wave around the world when it comes to the entire housing market. This isn't the linchpin that's going. I mean, this is one of many linchpins. Excuse me, that could cause the global economic issues, because everything that we, our stupid monetary policy people, have gone and done is they've literally built everything as on top of the mortgage related environment, right? So the property, the real estate, they've built all these bonds, the mortgage backed securities. They're backed by mortgages. They're securities that are backed by mortgages. Well, those mortgages, did you ever give them permission to use your mortgage to back a security? I never did. I don't know. Maybe you signed something somewhere that they can do that kind of stuff. I don't know. Not imaginative. Yes, exactly. I keep hearing something going to drop very soon. Kind of have me on edge. Yes, it is. Same here. That is for a lot of people. There's a lot of information that seems to be coming down the pipe that would lead a lot of people to believe that something's about to happen. I mean, Trump and Putin even they already did have a conversation, or they're about to have a conversation, or something like that. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Investors are watching for signs of further asset sales as the group faces pressure from bondholders and offshore creditors in what's likely to become one of China's largest restructurings. The company restructuring probably means where they're going to actually nationalize it, or whatever you want to call it. When they nationalize it here, it basically becomes owned by the government. That's probably what they're doing or going to do. And they're just going to keep it going because they can't have any other. Well, there isn't any other way that they can imagine, I'll put it that way, a way to properly have and run their economy, because they were stupid and pegged it all and put all their eggs in one basket. The company has more than $300 billion in liability, and it's under pressure to pay suppliers and migrant workers and complete millions of unfinished homes. You gotta wonder why they went and did that. I mean, realistically speaking, why? Did they know something was coming? Well, let's see what's going on here in the U.S. Keep in mind, Evergrande owns property around the world. This isn't just China. They own property and develop property around the world. They do here in the U.S. The U.S. also owns the bonds that they have issued because they needed cash and capital to build these houses. It's like they're building these cities and things with no demand for them. They're just doing it to do it. What are they doing, right? You gotta. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, throwing the thoughts out there. Hey, this is something that's on my mind, right? I'm thinking about this kind of stuff. So Evergrande owns property here too. They own it around the world, which means China does. Okay. BlackRock owns some of Evergrande. BlackRock owns pretty much everything. BlackRock owns at least some sort of. I don't want to say they don't. They own controlling stake in different companies, but they own at least some sort of voting stake, enough to vote in any regard. In just about every U.S. based company. I don't know for sure what they have overall, because you can look at what they have in their balance sheet, but that's not that's not their full balance sheet. Their public balance sheet that's not their full one. Anyways, take a look over here. Foreclosures are on the rise. Here's what that says about the housing market. Now, in January, there was a 7-fold increase of foreclosures that starts new data shows. Okay, 7x. There was a 7x increase in foreclosures. Now, it's not a tremendous amount, but this is how it started last time. Just like any dam, there's a crack in the dam, and there's water that springs out of it. what happens to the dam? It quite literally collapses. In January, there was a seven-fold increase in foreclosure starts as compared to December, with roughly 33,000 loans referred to foreclosure, according to a report from mortgage data and analytics company Black Knight. I do follow them. I haven't brought their stuff up on here because it's a lot of data. What's more, data from real estate data analytics firm Atom Data Solutions revealed that lenders repossessed 2,600 U.S. properties through completed foreclosures in February 2022, which is an increase of 70% from last year, though it's still down 45% from last month. So the reason why this is an interesting data point is because up until the beginning of March, there was a moratorium in place to block any banks or financial institutions or landlords from evicting any property, right? So there have been people, unfortunately, because of everything that they did to everyone with the whole hunger disease and the stuff with their work and all that fun stuff, unfortunately, a lot of these people either didn't pay their mortgages because they didn't have to, or they didn't pay because they actually couldn't. And even though they were getting the stimulus provided, whatnot, from the government, it still wasn't enough to pay the different mortgages. And then you had the people renting, and they were taking that extra money and sitting around. There were some that were enjoying that extra money. And those people went and bought things like boats and cars and new handbags and new computers and things like that. And they didn't continue doing their work. They didn't continue wanting to work. They didn't care. They went out and just spent that money and never paid their landlord because, well, the landlord's not going to kick them out because they're not allowed to. So all that ended at the beginning of March. All of that ended. If you're not paying your mortgage, you're not paying your rent. Guess what? Those people who have the rentals, they can now sell their homes. And now the banks can foreclose on the homes that are not paying their mortgages. What that means is that there's going to be a flood of foreclosed homes on the markets, which means the retail investors who have been buying in this market, in the retail side of the market, are going to start decreasing their buys in the retail side. They're going to start increasing their buys in the foreclosure side. Why would you spend top dollar for something when you don't need to? It's just kind of that's what happens. Part of the reason why there's such a frenzy right now is because there are institutional buyers like BlackRock buying up homes in the retail market. The resales are being bought up. The new builds, I don't think they're buying new builds. I think they're buying resales. I haven't seen any data points that they're doing anything with new builds, but this is there's a shift that's going to take place, and it's already starting now. Percentage wise, that's a lot, because but number wise it's not, okay? But it's like that crack in the dam. This is just the beginning. This is the next couple of months. This is really going to start a flood. And it's absolutely is ridiculously stupid that this kind of stuff happened to people. And it's not necessarily, some of it is their fault because they didn't continue paying, right? It is some of their fault. Some of it, they just went and lived frivolously, blah, 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 blah. But some of it is also not self-inflicted, right? Some of it is just outside of people's control. And it really is not okay. And they didn't do that stuff. They didn't choose to do those things. And it's not okay. I mean, there are people who, look, it's just going to get really, really nasty really, really soon. I just don't know how soon, and I don't know when. But this is going to cause, this isn't just going to be housing. This is going to cause a ripple effect, along with the high inflation, along with everything that's happening in general, with everything going on over in Ukraine and in Russia and everything. All this stuff's going to cause a ripple effect in a very, very big way. This time, they've put a lot of stop gaps in place to prevent people from, if you draw a breath, meaning even an animal could have a mortgage, things like that. Now there are a lot of stop gaps in place where they actually tie it to an individual. They do income verification. They make sure that you have the down payment. It didn't come from any nefarious blah, blah, blah. There's all kinds of crap that they have in place now, which does make it harder to get a mortgage, but it doesn't stop people from doing it. They have a very big issue now where they've got institutional investors who've come in and bought so many of these things up. Well, guess what? When the bottom falls out, those institutions are probably going to dump those houses on the market. Then what? I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I don't know what this is going to look like. It's different than last time, but there's a lot of information starting to surface that is significantly tied to it. The reason why things like MarketWatch and other places have a thumb on it, like I have a thumb on it, because it really affected so many people last time. And any movement in it, they're freaking out. They really are. Let's shift real quick and take a look at something that was very interesting data point for me as well. Goldman Sachs, Galaxy Digital announced milestone over-the-counter OTC trading platform for crypto. Goldman Sachs is the first major U.S. bank to trade crypto over-the-counter. CNBC was the first to report. The bank traded a Bitcoin-like instrument called a non-deliverable option with crypto merchant bank Galaxy Digital, and the firm says. What does that sound like? It's adoption, yes, but what is that? That sounds kind of familiar. Is that like a mortgage-backed security? Is that like a Bitcoin-backed security? Are they trying to create these options and these securities using another asset that is probably going to be a reserve currency in the not so far future? It's very possible. It's very possible that is what's going to happen. That, to me, when they name this stuff something they call a Bitcoin linked instrument, like a mortgage linked instrument. Think about it like that way. A non-deliverable option, or a CDO, collateralized debt obligation, or option is something else that they've also called it. Go look into that. That's what's about to cause all kinds of crazy stuff to happen here. They're not stopping. There's no regulation on that kind of stuff. Of course there's not, because that's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Of course it is. The move is seen as a notable step in the development of crypto markets for institutional investors. Compared to the exchange-based CME Group Bitcoin products, Goldman Goldman has begun trading last year. The bank is taking a greater risk by acting as a principal in the transactions, according to the firm. This trade represents the first step in banks having taken to offer direct, customizable exposures to the crypto market on behalf of their clients, said Galaxy co-president Damien Vanderwilt. I wonder if he changed his last name. You gotta wonder. If you know anything about the Vanderbilts, you gotta wonder. Oh, well, let's just see what happens, right? That just sounds an awful lot like another type of instrument that they could trade and cause all this hysteria around crypto. Those who hold the actual underlying asset are going to do really well, but they're going to end up causing the same boom bust crap that they're going in on what's going on here. Now, that is a step in the direction of adoption, but is it the right one? Only time will tell. My guess is no, it's not the right one, and no, it's not okay. It's not a good thing. Just my opinion here. Everything on the show is my opinion. It is not for financial advice, legal advice, tax advice, or, well, realistically, it's just entertainment or education, however you want to look at it. It's up to you guys. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here very much, very much. Who Who do you trust more, Goldman Sachs or Bitcoin consultants worldwide? That's a good question, Bitcoin Bull. By the way, it's linked in my description of the channel here. You've got my company where I do one-on-one consultations, but there's also, if I'm unavailable, there's also Bitcoin Consultants Worldwide. They are a consulting group of very like-minded, very smart individuals that can help you work through your crypto questions, needs, whatnot, all that fun stuff. Check them out for sure. Alrighty. Next little tidbit of information here. Malaysia comes official calls on the state to legalize crypto and NFTs. Malaysia's finance minister previously warned that crypto payments were illegal as they did not meet the universal characteristics of money. I can't speak today, apparently. They have no idea what they're talking. The dude has no idea the universal characteristic of money. Really? If you use a debit card or a credit card, it's not any different. It's easier. The Malaysian Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, I guess that's KKMM, is reportedly backing the adoption of cryptocurrencies, with the deputy minister calling the government to legalize crypto. Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, has urged Malaysia's regulatories to legalize certain use cases for cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. Local news agencies Harian Metro reported on Monday. Very, 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 very interesting that they're starting to call for this in all these other countries. It's starting to very much so start to take hold that El Salvador has done this, and it's a beneficial thing for not only the country but those people in that country. And it keeps IMF and other world banking institutions out of their business and controlling what they do. You want to kick them out? Make Bitcoin legal tender. Realistically speaking, with the CBDCs and all that fun stuff, if they legalize CBDC, they can't technically make it Bitcoin illegal. They can try and whatnot, but what's ended up happening is they're going to have to let the people decide. And I could tell you right now, the people are not going to want a surveillance currency. They're going to want something they can freely trade. They're going to want something they can do commerce with people without having to deal with they're not going to deal with somebody telling them that they can or can't do something, to watch what they're doing. Big brother paying attention to every little thing you're doing, blah, 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 blah. It's getting interesting, folks. It's getting interesting. What comes next? No one knows. What happens next? No one knows. But I can tell you one thing. It's going to cause it's going to cause an upheaval, if you will. It's going to cause a crazy thing happen. It's going to cause the world to snap its attention to the people behind the scenes. There's like 500 of them in the world. I've been saying that you wouldn't even be able to fill a football field with the amount of people who are behind the scenes doing this stuff, causing all this havoc. Pretty crazy. Anyways, check out the Patreon, 4:30 Eastern every day. Although this Friday I will not be able to. My wonderful daughters have a ballet recital that I will be live streaming for the event there, but not on the show here. It'll be on their channel. So I will not be present and available to do the Patreon show on Friday. However, today I should, barring anything crazy happening, 4:30 Eastern. If you're not in there, you should be. Check it out. Scroll at the bottom of the screen and link to the description of the channel. Really do appreciate all of you who are in there. It sure does help the channel out, and it means a lot to me that you want to hear the nuts and bolts of what's going on, or just me banter and say things that would get a video pulled offline. Anyways, y'all have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you all this afternoon. Bye-bye.